Welcome back to Scavenger Workshop. We're going to take a detailed look at the Scavenger MSE Chassis. Now, these are Amflow pancake motors. It just so happens when I was working on my older Scavenger chassis, the one that was using the Q83s, I thought to myself, maybe I can get some smaller pancake motors in here, pull them together, and do a chain drive, so that way I can use some cheaper motors and it'll still be pretty damn strong. You could ride it and whatnot. So how about these motors? And on the very first iteration, when I put it in here, they fit, they worked. It was the channels, I raw cut the channels out of an extra chassis I had and assembled it up, tested it, drove it, everything worked fine. But when I put the lid on, our welded aluminum lid, this part right here was rubbing on the side. So I was like, okay, I need to bring these in. So I drilled some new holes, pulled them in a little bit on another scrap piece here, as you can see. Pulled the holes in a little bit closer, lined it up, and I put the lid on it, and it fit perfectly. So I was like, yay, we can have MSE that does not require any kind of fancy parts or anything. We can just throw something together. And this chassis can be used for other things. I found out we could probably use it, cut it down, use it for scrubber droid. We can use it for like a canine for Dr. Who, but whatever. So let me give you a gist on how this thing assembles, just so you guys know. Move this out of the way. Get the old scrap one. So the way it works is it comes in 7 pieces as of right now. We may design it so the bottom portion of the skirt attaches to this frame, and as well as having a all-together skirt. So there may be a few more iterations in it, but I think this is pretty much the design. So what you do is you get these parts. It comes with these parts right here. I know they're a little cut up and gouged. I was doing a lot of testing with this, right? And these parts slide into these slots here, like this. These grooves, these little T-slots, right? And once you have them in there, right? Once you have them in there, you're gonna slide a nut. It's a M6 nut. Slides in here, and then a bolt goes through the top plate and pulls down on this nut, pulling these pieces together. So once you have these nuts in here and they're cinched down, this thing is completely solid. I mean, I stand on them, I ride them, it ain't going nowhere. This is a solid frame, especially once you have the wheels in with the shafts and whatnot. So let's put that away. So let's look at the latest design, all right? The latest design, when you get it water jet cut and they send it to you, they did not send me these plates because the plates were completely cut away. They thought the plates were scrapped, although it had drill holes in it. So I had to go and make some temporary ones like these, so that way, until they shipped me these. Exometry, they did overnight these to me, so they did make good, and they got these parts back to me. These are your electronic mount boards, right? Now, I have a simple system here, just with a saber tooth. It's a 232. It does have a 5-volt output in case I wanted to put some other lights on there, with just a radio transmitter that, cheap one you can buy off of Amazon. I need to find a better one that has some safety protocols in it, so when it loses signal, it completely shuts down. This one, if it loses signal, it will take off, and I had that issue in the garage here. It lost signal, took off, and it pushed the wife's treadmill across the room. That's how strong these bad boys are. It just shoved it all the way over. And yeah, so I've designed it so the motors, the wheels, and the chassis you buy based off of the parts list. You decide what kind of receiver, transmitter, and motor controller you want to use with this setup. So you can deviate any way you want. And we designed it with, it has two electronic mount boards. These little tabs here, that's where you would tie down your wires to make it all clean. It's going to have a little hole here, so that way you can get underneath the skirt and flip a switch to turn it off and on, right? So that's where our off and on switch is going to be. We're probably going to have an open skirt design on the bottom of it, or at least a little slot there where you can get your finger in there and flip the switch on and off, right? So these bolts here on the outside may change. I don't think so. I think it's good the way it is. That's so that way the no weld lid that we're designing is they're gonna have holes where they would slot down onto these bolts, so the lid won't fall off, the lid won't shift. You know, I've had issues with the other lid sliding a little bit, rattling a little bit. This is gonna make it so that way it's pretty firm and solid, right? As you can see here, these are those bolts that are holding the wheel channels together. And let me show you on the side here, side view. That's how the bolts are going through, and they're pulling down on these M6. They're M6 bolts. They're pulling down on those M6 nuts. So let me flip it completely over, give you guys a look. All right, underneath here, these are the 4 M6 bolts that are holding the motors on. You know, these are your channels. There's your on-off switch right here. You know, here's your Omni wheels for the different directions. It's kind of like a tank drive. It drives really smooth. It's very easy to navigate. And here's your drive wheels with your shafts. Now, when you buy all the parts that are listed in the thing, it's going to require you to get these 4 spacers, right? And that's these big thick spacers you see here and here. There's I haven't listed in the parts. That's so that way everything locks down good. It all looks really nice. It's all machined, so it looks really pretty. Let me flip it back over. So yeah, this thing is it's designed solid, and we have a whole bunch of designs coming out for you guys. And if you want to be a part of this and you want to hang out with us, you know, join our Discord, join our Facebook page. It's Scavenger Workshop. You just have to look for Scavenger Workshop on Facebook. I will provide a link in the when I post this video so you guys can find it. The Discord as well. Come hang out with us. Come look at our R&D section where you can see some of the new stuff we're coming out with, we're designing. We have a whole bunch of ideas. This is a group of designers. It's you, me, everyone is a part of this group. Can have some input on Scavenger designs, because I always felt that Scavenger, it's never a finished product. It's something someone can improve on. I want you to go look at my Scavenger MSE, say, hey, I have an idea, and this is something you haven't thought of. Why don't we do this? And I'm like, yo, that is incredible. You know, let's add to it, and then we'll change the STLs and the files or whatnot, so that way we can implement that idea and improve on it. So we have a full shell coming where you do not have to weld it. It gets completely assembled. You're going to have to do minor finishing work, like you're going to have to taper some of the holes so the bolts that are where the greebles are, so they're flush and hidden, and then you can put a magnet on your greebles so they attach well. But when you see that, it's incredible. It's going to be awesome. You guys are going to be just with water jet parts and parts you order offline from Amazon and Home Depot and places like that, you will be able to build an entire aluminum MSE, and it's going to be incredible. So I look forward to showing that to you guys as well in the near future. As soon as we're done with the design, I'm going to order some prototypes and put it together and showcase it. And yeah, come hang out with us. Come have some fun. Let's do this. I'm having a blast. I enjoy doing this stuff. I work with Andrew closely. Me and Andrew, we often, you know, he's in Australia. We hang out a lot and talk about new designs and new way of doing things. And if you guys want to be a part of it, join our different groups. Talk with us. Hang out and have some fun. All right, I'm going to call it here. You guys have a wonderful day.